Hey everybody, Board Bob here. So Factorio came out with a new update, 0.17, and in honor of that, I thought I would go ahead and do another Let's Play. But we're going to do this one a little bit differently. We're going to combine the normal gameplay of Factorio, which, it's a construction and survival game. For those of you who aren't familiar with Factorio, basically, you're one person on a planet with nothing but your clothes and a pickaxe, and you've got to gather resources. There's iron, copper, coal, stone, oil, and uranium. And you take those basic ingredients and you create items with them. And as you create items and do some research for technology on the technology tree, you gain better and better items, and those items allow you to craft various things faster. And you ultimately you're building a giant factory in order to automate all of your construction, so you can build more and more stuff. With the final goal of launching a rocket into space with a satellite in it, and that's kind of the end game for this. But there's been a lot of changes with 017, and I thought we'd have a little bit of fun with it. So what I decided to do is, along with playing the game, I thought I'd do a little bit of role playing. So I decided that what if we were a colony sleeper ship that went off course and crash landed, and we're the only sole survivor, and nobody knows where we are, and we've kind of got to do things in order to get back to Earth or wherever we're from. Um, so I've made myself a few rules as part of that. In the vein of this being a colony ship, I thought, what if all of the construction that was proposed for whatever planet they were going to is all stored as blueprints in the computer, but because of the crash landing, it's kind of stuck in the computer. So we have to, over time, gather up blueprints and technologies out of the computer, which kind of gives us the excuse for the research tree, but it also gives us kind of a restriction in that we can only build with blueprints. Now we can do some basic things, lay down some basic items. One of the rules that I've kind of imposed on myself, I can put down things like telephone poles individually without a blueprint, but any kind of major construction, whether it be a big smelting area or a power plant or what have you, those have to come from blueprints. And what my intention is at the end of each, or the beginning of each episode, I will give kind of a mission log update, and then we'll start the mission from there. And between missions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and think about what it is that I intend to do for the next episode, and I'm going to gather up blueprints for that episode. Now here's the rule on that, though. If I miss a blueprint, or I forget about a blueprint, or what have you, I'm not allowed to create a design on the fly. I have to have a blueprint. So if I go into that episode and I have a blueprint that I don't have a blueprint that I need, well, then I can't do that part for that episode. So then I would have to go out and between episodes, quote unquote, research a new blueprint, etc., etc. Now I can take portions of already built items, and using the blueprint generator, make a blueprint and go off that blueprint. Now in the game, the blueprints are mainly for when you get to the point of robots and you can do automated construction. But you can put down ghost blueprints, which will show you where to put things. And that's kind of the idea behind this guy being trapped on this planet and discovering these blueprints from the computer in such a way that he can build things with them. So that's kind of the idea. I know there are a lot of blueprints online, and I have a lot of blueprints of my own, and I'll probably be designing some along the way. But in view of that, I thought I'd give you guys the opportunity to participate a little bit if you're interested in it. And if there's any blueprints that you have that are favorites, something you like, something you want to see in a game, something you want to try out, whatever the case may be, message me in the comments, what have you. We'll figure it out. I'll get the blueprints from you, and we will use them in the game. And if I use them in the game, then I will credit you down underneath, and we'll keep a running list of who all gave blueprints or donated blueprints or whatever, and we'll go from there. So that's my self-imposed rules for the game. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if anybody's interested. I apologize for this long kind of wordy demo or intro prior to the actual intro for the game, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for you and let you know what I kind of plan to do. As far as the game goes, brand new, like I say, brand new version of the game out. I'm not going to play it with any mods at all. I'm going to play it straight vanilla, and I'm going to play it straight default settings. So everything is at the defaults. It's the default map generator. For anybody that wants to follow along with this, I'll post the seed for the map down in the comments, but the map seed is 1838189175. That's 1838189175. And I did go through and make sure everything is all set to the normal settings. I didn't change anything. I did look through the new GUI because I thought it was pretty cool, but I did not change anything. So that being the case, I'm going to hit play and let this generate. But at the same time, let's go introduce you guys to my new intro. All right, I will see you in the game. Control, this is Sleeper Ship 6, over.
Sleeper Ship 6, this is Control, go ahead, over.
Roger, Control, Sleeper Ship 6, we are in the lane 5x5, requesting permission for final transfer to Hyperlight, over.
Sleeper Ship 6, Control, permission to transfer to Hyperlight granted, and congratulations on making your final run, over.
Roger that, Control. Just tell the company to have my check ready when I get back. I'm going to go find a nice warm beach somewhere with some beer. Sleeper Ship 6 transferring to Hyperlight in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the fuck? Control, this is Sleeper Ship 6. Is there anyone there? Control, I say again, Sleeper Ship 6. Is anyone there? What the hell was that? Control, come in. Oh, well, Control, I don't know if anyone will ever hear this, but in the hopes that they do, I will continue to keep a mission log. We are definitely not where we were meant to be. This planet seems to be uninhabited, pretty barren. There are surface deposits of minerals. The ship, unfortunately, is a write-off. The computer is semi-functional, but the ship itself is not going to go anywhere. It is not going to be repairable. In light of that, we are going to have to make do the best we can here. Hopefully we can find a way out, or we are not too off course and someone can come looking for us. In the meantime, uh, we are on our own. According to the emergency operations manual, there are some blueprints and some technology on board which we may or may not be able to sustain ourselves with. So let's see what this thing says. Chapter 1. Looks like the first thing we want to do is we want to gather some minimum resources to set ourselves up some production. Alright, well, it's taken us a little while, but looks like we've gathered all the raw materials we need. We've been able to make ourselves a steam engine and make ourselves a boiler and make ourselves some mining drills that we can use to get some more resources. So let's see what we've got here for schematics, see what they've given us. So looks like a basic mining operation. Got a mine and a chest and a way to power it. What's the next one? Looks like a little bit more complex. We got a mine, a furnace, a chest, and a way to power it. We have a power plant, and it looks like we have a laboratory. So we'll be able to get ourselves some power and do some research. Maybe figure a way out of this. We got some conveyor belts. And that looks like it. Well, guys, there's our starting point. We are stuck with using blueprints, so let's go ahead and see what we can do to get started here. Let's see what we can put down. Can we put this sucker here? No. Can we put it here? Yes, and then we can expand that direction. Is that what we want to do? We are limited on where we can expand. Why don't we go up here a little further? We have some room to work downwards. How about that? How about if we put it there? That will eventually give us access to the coal. Maybe we want to put it closer to the coal. Maybe we want to put it down here. Like that. And then we can feed the coal over to it. How's that look? I like it. Let's take a look at the map and see what we got. We haven't looked at the map yet. Looks like we've got a peninsula out here. And then a nice shoreline here. And relatively close minerals. Not much in the way of vegetation, though. Alright, well, let's go ahead and put it here. It'll be out of the way enough that we can build around it, and it'll be close enough that we can get some coal over to it. So, there we go. There is our first blueprint. So we want to put down a pump. And we want to put down a boiler. And we want to put down a steam engine. And we want to put down a couple of poles. And do we have... We do not have a laboratory. We will have to gather the resources for that. We just don't have them right now. This is going to take us a little bit. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want coal. So let's go over here and And let's look at what we've got. Well, we don't need to smelt it. We just need to make it. So let's maximize our coverage here. Good enough. So we want a pole, right? Is that what we got? We got a pole. We got a mine. We got a chest. All right. And then we can run poles over to this power plant. There we go. Now we just need to give it some fuel. All right, well, we have power, which means we're now mining. So there's a start. Let's see what else we can get from this. Well, we're going to want to smelt this one, right? So let's do this. Right? So what do we got? We got a pole. We've got a mine. We've got a furnace. We've got an inserter, and we've got a crate. And now we have fuel. Alright. And last but not least for right now, we need iron. Those are our two main resources that we are desperate for. So, miner, furnace, inserter, chest, pole. And fuel. Well, it looks like we've managed to do the basics. We have them all set up. Looks like we're going to have to do some running back and forth for a while, but I think we can live with that. Certainly faster than what we were doing by hand. We're going to need a lot more iron though for research, and we're going to need a lot more iron for another steam engine. But progress, right? Just have to babysit the iron now and wait. But that is certainly moving faster than what we were doing before. So, I think we will run through and build ourselves another engine and build ourselves a lab so that we can start doing some research. I think we're going to want another engine if we start with a lab, because we're going to have to generate a lot of power for that lab. There we go. We need one more thing. We need a lab. And then we are well on the way to having the bare minimum basics that we need. We need 36 iron, so we need 16 more. Once we get our 6, we will build a lab. We will figure out what we're going to research first. I have a feeling I know what we're going to research first. There we go. We have a lab. And the first thing we're going to research is a way to stop doing all this running around. There. So, let's see what we want to research first. Well, we can research automation, which will give us a factory. Or we can research logistics, which will give us splitters and underground belts. We're going to need the splitters to be able to feed coal to everything. So I'm thinking this is the first thing we're going to want to research. It's going to take a little while to hand jam all of the science we need, but I think it is a worthy cause. So there we go. We are on the way. It is going to take us a long time to get off this planet, but by God, we are going to science the shit out of it, and we are going to do it. So, I will send my next mission report in a little while. Meanwhile, I'm going to clean up some of the mess here, see what we can do, and we'll go from there. So, until next time, Sleeper Ship 6 out.